So it's kind of kept him at a level where he's not too dangerous, although he is still fairly dangerous. And he's got a website. In fact, he's got several websites where he sells all sorts of weird things because he thinks he's the King of England as well. It's a really weird thing, you would think, okay, he's the reincarnation of Jesus. He also claims to be Yahweh as well. He also claims to be so many other things. He claims that physically his great-grandmother was directly ascended from the Habsburgs, obviously one of the great European royal families. And
yeah, I know those.
yeah, and he claims that he should be the King of England, and he's sent along. He said he's done this. I assume he's mad.
I don't see you need to make these claims since he's already claimed to be God.
Yeah. He sent papers.
You can't get any better than God.
Yeah.
Why do you need to be the King of England or the King of anything?
It didn't even know that God was a descendant of the House of Habsburg.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah.
You'd think he picked another house, but wait.
Yeah. And he basically claims that he sent along a number of letters to the Queen, supposedly legal papers, telling the Queen to get off the throne and allow him to be crowned the King of England. So he's really a very, very confused man. Or probably just a really mad con artist. And
he doesn't really understand how that lineage thing works.
No.
If she got that, I bet she had a good laugh.
Yeah.
I don't think she actually opened it herself.
No.
I'm sure someone had a good laugh.
I'm sure.
Probably ran through the whole castle. Oh my god, Queen, you've got to see this. It's so funny. I don't know if you can just address anyone with Queen, but probably not.
Probably not. But also, coincidentally, I see this with a lot of cult leaders. They love Hitler. Again, they all seem to think, oh, Hitler, he wasn't such a bad guy, or he's a nice guy, or Brian actually likes the KKK as well, which is really, a bit further than Destiny, to be entirely fair. He believes that, he believes in the Jewish Illuminati, as Bernard seems to, but it seems to be a continuous, like trend in many of the cults and, dangerous groups. They seem to believe that Hitler was a nice guy and all that kind of jazz, Lots of crazy things.
Yeah, I'm against demonizing Hitler, personally.
I can understand that. Yeah.
I'm also against idolizing him as the face of the entire Nazi thing, because that was just a way more complicated issue.
Totally.
So I think everyone who's saying he's the devil, and everyone who's saying, oh, he was such a nice guy, it's still the same type of making one person way more than they actually were.
Yeah.
I'm not really in favor of that.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, one of the things I find really shameful, I find this from a lot of people in Britain. They say some horrible things towards, things which are very, very racist, to be entirely fair, towards German people today, that they're naturally aggressive and, they're all like this. Some of these people who are bigoted. And, I agree about the nature of Nazism being that Hitler was not the only guy. It wasn't like he was a one-man party. He was just simply the head of it, obviously. And a lot of people...
He was the face, he was a good talker, and he got really popular.
I agree.
That's actually why he was placed where he was in the end. They could have found another guy, easily. There were several other in line, but he was the one that the people loved, so...
Yeah, I mean, technically, he just put people in charge, and he just let them do what they wanted to, as long as he didn't have to get... He didn't want to have to deal with it personally himself.
Yeah, he didn't want to get his hands dirty. And that was very true with...
Nobody up there did. It's like, we've got people for that.
Yeah, I was thinking of Himmler, of the SS, obviously, He went along to a I can't remember if it was a death camp or not, but where a number of Jewish people were going to be executed, and he went extremely pale, staggered off, and was very, very sick. From what I understand, I can't remember the precise source of this report, but it was on a documentary, and they were very good at giving out orders. Telling obviously young impressionable soldiers to do terrible things, but when it came down to actually seeing the results of their words, their orders, they were, well, cowardly bureaucrats in the end. Very cowardly.
Yeah. Also, there's when people. I think I did this video once about Destiny and the Nazis and how I see relationships between that. One that I'm not very proud of, by the way, not because I'm not standing behind what I said, but I phrased it very vaguely, and I just tried to do this quick.
Okay.
So I think my grammar wasn't really that good. It was kind of really vague in what I was saying. But the thing is that there's evil in most people. It just takes the right circumstances to get it out.
That's very true.
People tend to forget that. I mean, that was just this entire Nazi thing. That was really unhappy circumstances, and many people were in trouble, economically speaking. And if you give people that thing that they want, they are going to do everything you ask them to do, if it helps them. I mean, when you're starving, you don't really care whether your neighbors are the one that suffer because, I don't know, they're Jewish. I mean, all this hate is just really convenient for when you already have all this anger in you, and if you're really desperate, it's easy to turn evil and do evil things under these circumstances.
Anybody who's really interested in looking at that should look at what's called Milgram's experiments. And it was a series of tests that were conducted in the United States to figure out what lengths people would go to actually hurt other people. And they found out that if the person who's doing the torturing or the hurting the other person has been given assurances by someone in authority that it's okay, they'll do it. It basically gives you I guess it kind of gives you a clean slate for your conscience. Because someone else in authority has given you permission to do this.
The greater good. It's best for all.
It makes it more palatable. And they found out that more often than not, the way the experiment was arranged, you'd had one guy would answer questions, and another guy, if the person didn't answer the right question, had the ability to electroshock the other person. And they found out that, hey, the person on the other end, might be screaming in pain, going, "Oh, please don't do it anymore," and they had a lot of cases where the guy was like, "You sure you want to continue doing this?" And they were like, "Yeah, he'll be okay. Just continue administering the electrocution." And they would continue doing it.
I think those were actors, though. The test was on the person being asked the questions, I think.
Yeah, the people doing the screaming were the actors. The test subjects were the people delivering
I think torture. I've seen that. I've seen it on an episode of a TV program called it's called Balls of Steel, and it's a comedy program which used to be on Channel 4. And then with all these comedians doing different things, they had this guy called Alex Zane, I think his name was. And he did this sort of game show thing where there'd be two people. A guy who would have to, electroshock. Well, if you got a question wrong, you'd get a shock. And the person would be like, okay, they get it wrong, you have to shock them. So, you have to, if you get it right, you have to shock the other person. And it kept on getting stronger and stronger for every question you get wrong. And the person who was an actor, the person apparently being shocked, they basically faked having a heart attack or some kind, being charged so much they end up actually, keeling over and appear to be unconscious or even perhaps dead. And the person is there panicking to death. And you've got this game show host, Alex Zane, saying, okay, they've got to be drawn away. You did sign the paperwork before saying you take full responsibility, didn't you? You've got this person, a member of the general public, looking like he's just killed a person. He's thinking, my God! And he's being told by this game show host, wave at the camera and say goodbye, like it's trying to finish the game show.
That's harsh.
Yeah.
That's actually a party game.
Yeah.
I played that once at a party. This little, there's a thing where you've got 4 people having these kind of banana-shaped things, and there's a blinking thing in the middle, and when it goes red, you've got to press it, and the one who pressed it in time does not get electroshocked, and all the others will. And I think it comes in 3 different, what's the word? Damn it. It's 3 different strengths of electroshock thing.
Right.
Oh, okay.
And they even have a warning label, not for people with heart problems. I don't know why, but when people are drunk, they really like playing that. Because pain is funny, I don't know.
Sounds like fun.
I don't know. I didn't want to play it, I don't really like that electroshock thing. It also makes your hand stand up in wrong conditions, and that looks stupid. Oh, about this cult mentality and Hitler and following thing, I really recommend The Wave. And the book I can even recommend to Desteni people because it's written for kids. It's really simple.